How many people did they say registered? 900 or 1,000?
This is Castle Conquest finale at EMR Paintball in Gibson, Pennsylvania, and this is going to have some small, light editing with some commentary. I try to stick to just the action. It's in chronological order, so if you're watching this video thinking it's kind of boring and you want to just jump to the action, jump up to about minute 3, and from there on out, tons of action. Otherwise, stay with it and it'll give you perspective so you know what you're watching.
We don't have any clue. You don't have any idea.
Where are they attacking from?
Dude, I played last year. You see that hill right there behind that tent? You see down there? They're gonna start at that shack down there we walked past. And you gotta run up that hill, and you've gotta come up this road.
And your top screen, of course, are the defenders running out to Tippmann Town. The bottom screen are the attackers starting at the starting point, the bottom of the hill. And eventually, Tippmann Town gets taken in about a half an hour to 45 minutes. That's usually how it works. And at which point, the attackers can finally surround the castle on all 4 sides to attempt to put together any coordinated attacks if they want to attack from multiple directions. Otherwise, it's, well, they're obviously attacking from all 4 sides all day. What I mean is, by coordinated attacks, there's opportunities to punch into the castle if you attack the doors or the gates or the ramps from multiple sides at the same time with groups of players. However, that just doesn't seem, well, it hasn't happened in the past, in the previous 2 years on this particular castle. And in previous years, it's happened quite often, but it seems that the type of paintball player that exists in the past couple years that might not have the intensity level that paintball players had in years past, hence the term old school paintball player. And people can take exception to that, but you know, the facts you know, bear out that statement. I mean, in previous years, the castle falls consistently, but over the past few years, and it's this particular castle, it gets harder to take because players don't seem to listen to the generals. It's a half-hearted effort. Now, having said that, you're going to see a lot of players giving more than a half-hearted effort. It's just, you know, the question is can you get large scores of players to attack all of the gates and all of the ramps at the same time from all 4 sides? And it doesn't seem to be happening in the past couple of years on this particular castle.
Excuse me, man.
So let's look at what they're doing here. They're attacking at a corner of the building that does not offer them entrance. There is an entrance between these attackers and this cameraman right there on the left by those barrels. So you could come across from Tippmann Town to rush that gate. And this is wall number 4 that we're on here right now where the cameraman is. The wall around that corner that you see where those 2 players are is wall number 1. So you'll see this reference from time to time. You can see a player went in, he's going to get shot out. Now, these players here on this near wall here kind of know what they're in for, but they're enjoying themselves. I mean, they know they're not going to take the building from shooting up on this wall, but there's players here that make it up to this wall and do have a good time. I mean, at some point you've got to kind of figure out that if you're not going to accomplish the main goal, you might as well enjoy yourself and do some ballsy things. And, you know, props to these players for doing this. Now you may be thinking, wow, this guy's right up on the wall, he should be shot out easily. Well, if you're a defender, you can't look through one of those windows. I mean, the attackers know just to shoot in those windows in general. And as a defender, it's not as easy as you may think to shoot anybody out any of these windows, because you have to back up to the far wall or shoot out from an angle. In any angle, actually, the paint is coming in from every direction, so it's a very difficult task to shoot out of the castle. Defenders, for the most part, don't realize just how easy it is to approach the castle. If they have enough players shooting through the windows or at the windows while another group attacks, they could, in fact, take the castle much easier. But these are things that, you know, if you don't know, if you haven't played on the other side, you don't realize what the weakness in the defense is. The fact of the matter is, the best way to attack the castle, and this has been said many times, this is great, good job by these guys. The best way to attack the castle is en masse from different points at the same time. So the attack needs to be coordinated where all of your players are attacking at the same time from multiple points, and essentially there's two groups. There's the groups that rush the building and shoot on the way, and there's groups that stand back and shoot the windows or the parapets or wherever, so that those attackers can have a free run. And then of course the third point is you don't rush to the wall, you rush through the doors. You rush the ramps. Don't rush to get to the wall, because once you got to the wall, that's all you are. You're at the wall, and your attack has now reached the lull, and it allows the defenders to respond. So you may be asking, where is DangerMan right now? Well, at the very beginning of the game, when this game started, at this point where those players are, I'm right above their head in the very top parapet. No ceiling above me. And, well, it got kind of boring up there, quite honestly, so within the next few minutes here, I moved to the center tower, and I'll show you why in subsequent videos when we get to that point. You know, you may be asking yourself, if you haven't played in a Castle Conquest, what side do I want to play on if I'm participating? And this is a very, you know, personal question. While you could play on a paintball team and not have a choice, and that means like if you're playing on a unit of, you know, 4 players or 20 players, whatever it is, you know, that unit travels around the region and plays in scenarios together. You know, if your team has a vote or whatever, you don't have a choice. But if you're playing as a walk-on, and you want to decide, you know, what side do I want to be on, defense or attack? Well, here's what you need to think. If you enjoy moving around and being mobile and testing out new attack points, then maybe attacking is probably best suited for you. Because on defense, you're going to shoot a lot more paint, and you're going to be locked into certain positions, and you're going to be in a more of a waiting game than. And your game is going to be dictated by the offense, by the attackers. You're not going to be able to decide what you do. You're going to relocate no matter what if there's a lot of pressure coming at a certain point. And once they do break in, you are in a true, you know, very immobile position much of the time. The attackers, if you know, they're going to constantly poke and prod and look for places that they can exploit. They're also going to, if they're in a situation where they're actually organized and coordinated, they're going to attack as groups. I love what these guys are doing here, by the way. This is just great. This is great paintballing. So as an attacker, you're going to have the liberty all day of walking around, moving around. That's just a great feeling to know that you can do as you please. The downside is and it's not really a downside, it just comes with the territory. If you get shot out, you got to take a little bit of a walk to come back into action. But as a defender, if you have been shot out, or you run out of paint, or run out of compressed air, everything is at your disposal at the back of the castle. You don't have to take a quarter-mile walk to get reset. But just like a defender, or just like an attacker rather, you do have to wait for an insertion time. And those windows are usually every 10 minutes, and they last for about 2 to 3 minutes. So that means you have to sit around and wait 10 minutes before you can get back in the game, and you can get back in a game for a 3-minute window. And at which point, if you miss that window, you have to wait another 10 minutes for another window to go in. This is like really great visual here. I love what I'm seeing here. This guy is under this window, and he's dodging paint from his own players that are putting it through the window, and he's looking through the cracks, trying to see if there's any players in there that he can pop up and shoot at. Now, you notice how that lip there kind of bubbles out. He's got a natural barrier from the building so that the players at the parapet at the end can't shoot down at him. All right, so finally we're swinging around. This is something I want you to see here. See that Dorito up there? See this wall with that doorway there? That big door at the far end of the building there. That wall is a ramp. So there's 2 entry points for attackers at this side, and this is where there's a lot of action all day. This is where the attacking team put most of their effort on trying to get in, and they did get in a lot, but only on the ramp. And when they came up that ramp, they took the wall there on the 2nd floor. So we had players below them, and they had players above us up on the wall. But the rules of the game are is that you cannot shoot through the floorboards or through the cracks. So the battles basically took place along that wall on the 2nd floor, around the barriers of the walls, and we're going to get to that next.
It's too much for any man.